Hello, beach friends. Or maybe I should say good very early morning. Because if I'm going to get up at dark o'clock, I want to see a sunrise. So I'm out here before the sun has come up and I'm ready to start my day with some low tide treasure hunting. I personally have found low tide to be my favorite time to go shelling. Now, with a little assist from a headlamp, it looks like our first treasure is a nutmeg, and that works for me. Relatively common, but that is a really beautiful example. Nice pointy top, nice rich colors. Now, I was curious why lately these sunrises have been so glorious. And it turns out before the sun even pops up over the horizon, its light is already bending through the thickest part of our atmosphere. And all the blue light gets scattered away first, and then what's left are those warm reds and oranges. And when those colors hit the underside of the clouds, oh, it's like a magic show. So my attention is kind of torn between the sky and this lovely pear whelk. So the sun might not be helping me out as far as lighting quite yet. I'll just have to be patient. But for now, this sunrise is looking pretty nice. I'm at the secret beach down in South Marco. Oh, it's so pretty. And I have special access to be here. The parking lot doesn't open until sunrise, so I have a beach friend that helped me get over here. So thank you, beach friend. Now, this is a short spine sea star, and you can see that it is in and out of the water, in and out of the water. These critters are used to being in tidal zones, so that is part of their behavior and their environment, and they are used to it. That's not, yeah, I think the light show might be over. We're just going to wait for sunrise at this point, and that's okay. I really am so excited to comb this beach and see what all is here. This is a true tulip of the orange variety. They get much bigger than the banded tulips. A lovely little seashell. And since it's low tide, look at how much of this beach is exposed. Later on, the tide's going to be up closer to the docks there on the right. But for now, we have all this beach to comb through. What do we, okay, a little horse conch. That's our Florida state shell. Lovely. They can also be like a bright orange color. Yeah, the light is a little low, so my camera's struggling a little. Here is a tinted cantharus. Oh, that is lovely. Now, it's not my favorite cantharus. My favorite cantharus is the ribbed cantharus. There we go. That is a nice example of one. Luckily, that barnacle is empty. So that is a ribbed cantharus. They really don't look anything alike, but they're both really swell. Okay, and I had an apple murex apparently. Wouldn't want to pass or wouldn't want to like hoard that from you. Make sure I show you that. It's a little dirty. I'll probably soak that in some bleach water. Oh, another cantharus. And they also can come in an orange morph form. So those can also be orange. Oh, and I get so excited when I find those. Now, you know that saying about karma, when you put good into the world, the good always finds its way back. That idea followed me all day long, from the tide to the critters to the tiny moments of magic. Today felt like one big reminder that the energy you send out really does come back to you. So we'll see some critters, some really fantastic shells, and I'll explain why sometimes you have to leave your treasures behind. So if you're ready to see what all is out there for us today, let's go to the beach. All right, so the sun is up at this point. We're not getting those crazy fiery colors, but holy smokes, it's pretty. Oh, I just love it. So I'm on that secret beach down in South Marco. And here's a critter. Now, I didn't see this right away. Someone directed me and said, hey, did you ever see a live top snail? And I said, actually, only once before. So this is the second time I'm seeing a live top snail. The animals, the body, well, I'm trying to figure out like where the head's going to come out. So the opening, yeah, it's going to be on this side over here. And that's when you can kind of really see the body more. It's almost the same color as the shell itself. And I can't see a head. I can't really discern anything. I think it's easier to see the anatomy of these animals when they're underwater, kind of actively hunting. So yeah, from the top side up here, I'm not really seeing much of anything, but that was super cool. So that is a live top snail. Very cool. Oh, another one of those cantharus shells. The ribbed cantharus. Oh, yeah, there's just a little bit of water there. The coloring, like you can kind of see all the nooks and crannies. I just love them. I think they're so beautiful. Oh, and a lace mirror. Oh dear. Well, it is a lace murex, but it has seen better days. Yeah, we are going to leave that here. But this is nice and messy, just the way I like it. Oh, here's another top snail, which is empty. So no creature in there. That's normally why I find them. Oh, pretty coloring too. So that is another top snail. Lovely little seashell. All right, I think that's a mauve mouth drill. Looks empty. Yeah, I'm gonna have to be low tide. You're always kind of careful of the critters, but today especially. Look at the color on that nutmeg. Oh, that's beautiful. Fantastic little drill. A little nutmeg. Awesome. Oh, I thought that was a spotted slipper snail, but that is a banded tulip. Or if you want to get fancy and call it by its scientific name, that is the Centura hunteria. Banded tulip. So that's it. That was the sunrise. It's done its thing. And it's funny. It's most brilliant right before that sun comes up. So the tide is kind of, I mean, it's negative low tide. So I do have plenty of time to kind of comb through everything. Oh, that's a hermit crab and a little fighting conch. I don't ever see that. Oh, interesting. All right, a bubble. Fabulous. What do we got? Another little bubble. So at least I don't typically find hermit crabs in the bubbles. Oh, a little lightning whelk. So cute. There's another. Look, would you look? I have never seen a top snail with a hermit crab in it, ever. Oh, man, that's neat. Terrible choice, I think, but hopefully you'll find something else. There's lots of bubbles here. Oh man, that was really cool. There's so many. No, so it's, yeah, definitely gonna be a tiny day. All right, here's another little pear whelk. That's a nice color. It's a lovely example of our whelks. We only have the lightning whelk and the pear whelk down here. There's another nutmeg. Yeah, wish we had met sooner, nutmeg. You probably have been passed up a couple of times. Guess what that is? That is a pitted murex. Please be empty. Please be empty. Oh, that is cool. So that is one of the murexes that's a little bit more on the rare side compared to the lace or the apple. The pitted murex. Oh, that's fabulous. Now here's a little auger. Oh, and it's alive. It's just kind of blipping out of its shell. So these augers, they do have a little tiny operculum. I don't know if we're going to be able to see that. And yeah, it's just kind of a gummy critter. I wasn't really, again, seeing like any kind of anatomy ahead or anything. So yeah, we're just going to let you go hunt some worms and have a nice morning. I'm going to turn my attention back to the tiny shells. See, oh, that's a critter. That is a lettered olive. Likely over here. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave that critter alone. Fun, right? And if the tide was higher, you know, that critter would be doing its thing, and we would be none the wiser. So here's a little snowy egret. I do believe it's a juvenile. It's kind of got yellow stripes on the back of its leg, kind of, sorta. It's probably maturing. Love the. I love my shorebirds in addition to the seashells, and I guess critters in general. Big fan. This is looking kind of Wenzel trappy. It looks maybe. All right, here is a chestnut turban. That is a swell find. Another new specimen for today. There's a spotted slipper snail. Say that 7 times fast. Yeah, that's neat. I do prefer them. I probably the coloring over just the regular old slipper snails. A spotted slipper snail. Yeah, they're kind of fun. Kind of looks like a common Junonia, right? So this is a jingle, and it's hinged, which is rather, well, I'd say rare. Yeah, it's pretty rare. And they attach themselves through that little hole in the bottom shell with the byssus threads. Just an interesting creature. And I learned a little bit more about Jingles. I spent some time over at the Shell Museum over the weekend. So hopefully in the future I'll be able to share. So there is a jetty here that you can kind of go around. And I figured, I'd like to just see, just kind of peek, see what's over here. I mean, that'd be terrible. Could you imagine being around the corner from like massive shell piles? That'd be terrible. So here we have another little top snail. All right, so it's looking like, pretty much like tinies. No pile over here or anything. If, dare I say, looks to me like it's maybe even a little bit better around the corner there. All right, so the tide at this point, I do know it's coming in. So I'm very cognizant of my time. The tide is only going to be out for so long. I think I'm just going to check this little patch here, just in case. All right, we have, that's a cross-barred Venus clam and Atlantic simile with that little top. Yep, I'm good. I'm going to go back to where I was. But I just wanted to check. And now that I know that there's nothing fabulous over here, I'm really going to concentrate on the beach that I was originally on. So here's a live prickly cockle. We see the in and out siphon holes there on the side there. And it is alive. There is a foot inside, even though it kind of looks like a tongue. And because it's a cockle look, it kind of looks like a heart when you hold it like that. So all the cockles are members of the, I'm going to try to say this correctly, Cardiidae family. Cardiidae. Yeah, this is Latin. I don't speak Latin fluently. I barely have a command of the English language, let alone Latin. Oh, little sand dollar. A living sand dollar. So cute. Yep. We're not really going to see its little cilia do its little dancing, but I assure you that this little sand dollar is alive. Doesn't want to turn over. There you go. I'm going to leave that in the water. Okay. Huh. Nice to say hi and just kind of move along. See what other treasures are here. Oh, a little lace murex. Yep, with that little pink proto-conch on top. So it starts as a little tiny shell that tends to be on the pink side. All the lace murex, they don't always retain that, but sometimes they do. Even as the shell gets a little bit bigger, it'll have a little pink top. Let's see, we got here. Is it empty? I think not. So we will, just tuck it back in. And we're looking for keeper shells. And thus far, I think we're finding some lovely examples like this giant Atlantic cockle. I just like the interior color on this one. Just beautiful, like pink, purple, cranberry type color. Gorgeous. Oh, and there's so many other. So yeah, I know the tide's coming in. Trying to be cognizant. Oh, a Tampa turrid. Oh, very cool. That's in pretty good shape too. So yes, I guess the two geographical shells I can think of are the Sanibel turrid and the Tampa turrid. Cool, along with that big old cockle. All right, turn my attention back to the water's edge here. Yeah, probably start finding a couple more hermit crabs in the process. And I'm going to rinse that out. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. They're not all like that. I do kind of collect a fair amount of those. All right, what else? No way! So not only did we find a hermit crab and a top snail, I found one in a nutmeg. Yeah, those columellar folds, the twirly things, I just don't think they're very comfortable. But hey, I guess a crab's got to do what a crab's got to do. But there's plenty of shells here. Let's see. Oh, look at this little critter. So he's pushing its shell along. Yeah, I don't normally see them do that, but neat. Oh, and look at this little tiny one here. I'm going to put my hand down just to show you the size. It's little shell with a little crab. What about this one? Yep, critter. Little critter in there. So it looks like me and the crabs are doing the same thing. Looking for those empty shells. What about... Nope. Critter. Okay. So far down here, the crabs are winning. That's okay. Oh, I like these. So the broad-ribbed cardita. And I don't typically find them hinged, and I don't typically find them alive. Look at the condition of the shell. I think they're beautiful. They kind of look like they got little beads on them. So when they're, I guess when they're in very good condition, they're really pretty. Yeah, the broad-ribbed cardita. All right, what other little treasure? All right, that's a fighting conch. What? A marginella. Little Atlantic marginella. Now, it should be kind of like a yellow color. That one's discolored on the dark side. Gonna keep it anyway. That's a broken top of something. It's a button shell. Is it intact? Yeah, for the most part, yeah. A button shell. It would be kind of nice if a Wenzel drop just kind of popped up too, but it's this. All right. It's a little broken sharp-ribbed drill. That's what that is. Yeah. It's kind of broken in such a way. A little sharp-ribbed drill. It's kind of been here for a minute. But you know what? Maybe a hermit crab would like that shell. Oh, that's another pitted murex. Oh, and that one's really, please be empty. Please be empty. Because there's like a little bit of coloring. It's not completely bleached out, and you can really kind of see why they called it a pitted murex. Oh, that is terrific. Little shell, and they only get so big, those pitted murex. Oh, all right. Gulf oyster drill with a Hermie. Let's see. Okay, this is a purplish Tagalus, complete with all of its periostracum, making the purple a very brown color. They're kind of delicate too. I have found I'll put them in my shell bag and they kind of end up in pieces, so I gotta be a little more careful with those. All right, I think that's a shell in there. I don't think that's a critter. Yeah, it's just some sort of shell or something. And that lovely Gulf oyster drill. Okay, along with my top snail. Very nice. That's a really nice little shell. All right, and that's a critter attached to. All right, so we have an apple murex. Yep, attached to that pen shell. Okay. That critter is still using its shell, so that's the way that goes. Shark eye, yep, that's been here a minute. Yeah, I'm gonna save some on the stoop and just kind of leave it like that. Another pitted murex. Better be empty. Yeah, it's not quite as gorgeous as the other one, but you know what? It's empty. Oh, that's wicked cool. I never find them. And then to find, how many did, that's the third one today? Oh, that's awesome. And again, that's a pitted murex. Oh, it's looking very Wenzel trappy. Okay, lettered olive. Gorgeous. Have not picked up one of them. Well, we saw that live one. We haven't picked up a seashell. Oh, there's another button snail or button shell. Yeah, it's got a little hole. It's okay. Another shark eye. Yeah, we'll probably leave that. Oh, shark eyes. Hermit crabs usually like the shark eyes. Oh, look at the little Hermie. So that's in an apple murex. Yeah, we'll leave that. So cute. Oh, this looks extremely Wenzel trappy. Yeah, I'm not gonna. It's too much movement when you're looking for something about a little bit like 2 times the size of a piece of rice. If there's any kind of movement, it just makes it really difficult. Right, there's an apple murex or something attached to it. Oh, Hermie. Okay, I didn't even see what kind of shell that was. Yeah, I can't think of another shell where there's like conditions to find them. This to me is kind of like Wenzel trap conditions. You have the bubbles, you have a little bit of that organic matter, those coffee grounds. So I'm gonna kind of spend a minute or two. Okay, yeah, you'll find, and in the process, you'll find small shells like the button shells, rice olives. This is a little moon snail. No Hermie, so that's a safe to keep. Oh, that's a little horse conch. already occupied, so that will stay. There you go. Oh, I just know they're here, so I grab a big old handful, and guess what? There's one right there. So very carefully, because there could be more than one, I have learned. But as it turns out, in that grab, there was the one lentil trap and that bubble. Not bubble, the button shell. I knew they were here. Yep, that's fun. All right, so do it again. Grab again. I was not as successful with that grab. And as it turns out, my friend was in the area, so I chatted with him for a couple minutes, kind of got distracted from the lentil traps because I saw this blob of orange and I knew it was going to be a rose murex. Oh, it's got a hermit crab in it. No. No, normally I don't mind, and I'm like, you know what? It's fine, it's okay, but I really want that shell. I know it's there. Oh man, and I do have a very strict finders keepers policy, but oh, so I put it in the water and little Hermie comes out again. All right, so there's definitely, I mean, I knew there was a crab in there. What was I hoping that he would decide to jump out, and it doesn't work that way. So I'm going to leave the shell because the crab found it first. And so I'm not kidding. I really do have a critter first policy with these seashells. I will find another. Good luck, little friend. You chose a really great shell. And now I'm kind of hoping that that karma thing I mentioned in the beginning, perhaps the beach will be nice to me. You know, that is kind of a nice apple murex, to be fair. That is kind of nice. So, all right. I'll take that. Oh, all right. That's a calico scallop, and you know what? That's kind of pretty too. All right, that's nothing to sneeze at. That is also a lovely calico scallop. So there's plenty of shells here. I won't go home empty-handed. It just, look, I know I would feel awful if I got home and there was a critter in it. So that's why, it kind of pains me to put the shell back, but it's better than that miserable feeling that I accidentally killed a critter. So this is a live apple murex. And it had a lot of that purple on it. That's where back in the day they used to get their purple dye from those murex shells. Okay, well, let's see what else we got. Empty. And that is, yeah, I think that is another one of those cantharus shells. I kind of can't tell. It doesn't look as cantharusy as I'd like it to. All right, let's get back into the littles. See what else is here. Since it was a negative low tide, that means it's even more time to kind of search at low tide. So here's a little lace murex. Empty. Yay. Aw. Yeah, that's the way it goes sometimes. And yeah, that's empty too. So some more little littles. Yeah, the Hermes are going to have more of a selection once that tide comes up. A rose murex. All right. It's not quite as glorious as the one I put back in the water, but still, thank you, beach. Thank you very much. I wish I could kind of convince the crab to switch shells, but it is what it is. So at least I got a rose murex. That's pretty awesome. Yay. What do we got here? Oh, guess what? That's also a rose murex, but that's a mottled rose murex. So it's got a different color. I better be empty. I got news for you. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. So that's a mottled rose murex. That color is a little bit more rare. Typically, those rose murex are that bright orange color. So I'm just making extra sure there's nobody in there. Here's a little drill. And I'm going to check this one again just to make extra sure nobody's home. Yep. Because they can really hide sometimes, but oh, that's terrific. So I did get a rose murex. Okay. See what I mean about the karma thing? It doesn't always work, but sometimes I feel like it really does. All right, here's another one of those true tulips, an orange one no less. I feel like we got one when I kind of first got on the beach this morning, and here is another one. Lovely little true tulip. Okay, another pear whelk. Terrific. Look at the color on that. Nice. So it definitely was not a big shell day, but holy cow, can the small ones pack a punch? So that's great. That's a little pear whelk. And an apple murex. Just lovely. The Philonodus pomum. And look at how much the tide has come up. Yep, not as much beach, a lot more water. And would you believe that's a Wentel trap? Yeah, that's the second time that I can think of at this specific beach where, I'm just kind of beach combing and a Wentel trap pops up. Normally I'm kind of hunting for them. They don't just kind of appear, but I guess apparently they do. So that is a gorgeous Wentel trap. And I've been having so much fun. I think it is time at this point to be quiet and let you all have some beach time. So this was just an incredible day. I had so much fun. I know I had to leave that shell behind, but I do kind of feel in a way that the beach kind of thanked me because believe me, I went home with plenty of treasures and it was just a really glorious morning. So here's all the fun things I managed to get. So there were some worm snails, that beautiful giant Atlantic cockles, some chestnut turbans, the jingles, the spotted slipper snails. There was one Tagalus, the lightning whelks, the turkey wing, the Atlantic similes over there on the left. There was a couple of those calico scallops also on the left, lettered olives above that, pear whelks. And there was some shark eyes, some augurs, some colorful moon snails. Here's some fighting conchs. Yeah, I did pick up some of those as well. The true tulips on the bottom above that banded tulips. There were a couple of those dusky cones. There's a bunch of assorted drills in there. So that top row is cantharus. Below that are the Gulf oyster drills. Below that are the mauve mouth drills. Below that are the little fighting conchs. And then there's horse conchs too. There is a calico clam, a marginella, a tinted cantharus, a couple of nutmegs, a bunch of bubbles, some apple murex, some dark seraph, some button snails. We got some honorable mentions here for these little tinies, the pitted murex, that rose murex, and the tampaturid, but my favorites were the Wentel trap, the mottled rose murex, the Gulf oyster drill, there was a baby's ear, and that pitted murex. So this was so fun to be out there, and it's been slow, but I'm telling you, if you know what to look for, even the tiniest things can end up being the biggest types of treasures. And speaking of treasures, Patreons, I couldn't do this without you. Thank you so much for choosing to support me. Every week I do marvel that I'm so lucky that I have people that like the stuff that I do. So thank you so very much. I really do appreciate you. And you know what? I have a question. Do you really think that that karma thing is a thing? I for whatever reason, I experience it all the time. Like I'll do something kind, I'll put something back or I won't take something and the beach ends up giving me great stuff. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. Next week, Lover's Key. Very fun. You have yourself a great week and I'll see you again next Sunday.